We are here at HorrorFest International. I am here with Johnny Wickham and Mike Capes. Both of these gentlemen are the writers of The Invisible Raptor, and Mike is the star. So, gentlemen, you bring a great movie to this festival. One that covers so many genres. It's a horror film. It's a comedy. It's a romantic comedy. There is so much going on in this movie that offers so much entertainment. As the men who brought this idea to life on paper, where did this come from? What made y'all decide?
I'll let Mike start the answer.
Yeah, it was one of those stupid 3 a.m. thoughts, you know? I woke up and I was kind of laying there, and some people, garner the ideas of like Interstellar and things like that. I grab Invisible Dinosaur ideas, and so I had this thought, and I thought, it'd be really cool to make a creature feature with absolutely no creature. And it was during COVID, and we were kind of like coming up with different ideas. And
we were trapped in the house.
Yeah, we were trapped in the house, and kept hearing the term invisible threat a lot during that time. And then that just kind of invaded my mind. And of course, we're big Spielberg movie fans, so we kind of leaned towards if we're going to do an invisible creature, let's do the most expensive visual effect there is possible, since we're not paying for it. So I called my buddy Johnny. We've been riding together for years. And I said, you want to jump on and write this Invisible Raptor movie with me? And he was like, yeah, I'm in. This sounds amazing.
Yeah, we actually met in the office of Jerry Zucker, the guy who wrote and directed Airplane and Naked Gun, which we had this secret sketch comedy writing group that he didn't know about that we met in. But films like that heavily influenced, you're asking where the comedy came from, films like Jerry's heavily influenced our comedic styling. So, our film isn't a straight up parody. It's more of an homage to a lot of different genres, as you mentioned. We obviously homaged a lot of Spielberg in this film.
Yeah. All the 80s films we grew up on that inspired us are pretty much homaged. We gave the homage treatment.
And that's one thing I really noticed with this. As a youngster in the 80s, I was like just noticing so many homages and very self-aware, almost meta references to things I grew up watching. One way I've always liked to describe this is take just background characters from Jurassic Park that work in the park itself, give them a side quest movie. And of course, there's a very fun Goonies cameo in the beginning. Yes. Sean Astin, how did he get on board for this?
Gosh, we paid him a lot of money. No. He came through casting because most of the cast I think 95% of the cast are friends of ours.
Well, 99. The only person that isn't was Sean and maybe Bunny Levine, the older woman that gets the older woman that has an interaction with the dinosaur.
Yeah. Who starts out with a lot of cats and
She's 97. I think we can call her an older woman.
Yeah, she's old. At this point, I think we can.
It's fine.
Yeah. So Sean came on through the sheer will of the gods, really. We were looking for a great cameo, and casting got to him, and he, joined our movie, and he was there on day one. He was incredible to work with. He was very open to homaging Goonies. The one that's very easy is he has the inhaler. Mikey's inhaler, and he does a whole bit with that, and so it was really cool, man. We were just we were blown away that we got Sean Astin for this film specifically for Spielberg.
It was great, and we were looking for a cameo in that specific spot that was in the Spielberg world, and of course Sean was. Now it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
He came and he had ideas. He was very collaborative. Yeah. He stayed for a very long time, so that was all great.
He asked us if we could make sure he comes back for sequels, so we'll hope for that.
So there's a little post-credit sequence that might allude to that.
Stay for all 3 post-credit sequences.
And then, as I said, this film brings a lot of genres to the table. So at one moment, it's funny. Then there's the whole romantic angle. And then at times it's a straight up horror film. It's a very terrifying concept, very Jurassic Park meets The Invisible Man. Upon writing this and crafting this whole idea on paper, what kind of techniques did you use to balance out a lot of these emotions and elements that were brought to the table for this?
Oh, that's a good question.
I will say there were certain things we wrote around So the idea of having children in the movie, we were like, well, let's have kids in the movie.
Yeah, and then you realize how hard that is with production. So
Yeah.
halfway through the movie, we just get rid of them, and then you'll see how and why. There was a lot of fun Invisible Man gags. We wrote the movie with the idea of, if we have a creature feature with absolutely no creature, then we don't have to spend any money on special effects. But then when you start doing Invisible Man gags, it becomes it's pretty hard. Like it's a whole thing. So we got lucky. We got this guy, legend Steve Johnson, he sculpted Slimer for Ghostbusters. He did Big Trouble in Little China, Fright Night, American Werewolf in London. His list just goes on and on. He actually did all of our practical effects. And again, we wrote this movie with no digital effects in mind. And we got very lucky at the end because we needed actually 500 plus visual effects shots in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. We weren't that smart going in.
No, we were real dumb going in.
But so we had parameters to work within, and we worked with that with our characters and stuff like that.
Yeah. There was also a moment when we were writing the script where we were like, should we take this into the kind of B-story romantic comedy angle with Grant and Amber? And I think we made a real decision not to do that. We were like, let's not actually have them kiss. If you see the moment that they're floating over the raptor, that's their moment where perhaps something could happen, and we have that, not happen.
And to answer one more aspect of the invisible gags and us not thinking we could afford digital effects, there's a scene where I lay on the raptor. It's passed out, and I do the Dr. Grant, the Alan Grant in Jurassic Park where it's breathing and he's laying on it. So I was trying to figure out ways to do that without rigs or cables. So I was in our director's apartment, and I saw that his couch was basically the height of my feet if I went like this. So he put some weight on the couch and held my feet down, and I was able to push my body out and hover like I'm floating over on something, And so when we got to shooting, that scene happens in the middle of the street of a big neighborhood. So I asked the gaffers, I said, hey, I think I can do this. It takes a lot of strength to hold myself up, but I got a couple takes in me. And they actually bolted my feet into the concrete. So when you're watching that scene where I'm floating, my feet are
he's actually
strapped,
floating.
and I'm actually I'm floating.
Yeah. We were going to do it with a green medicine ball, but we, again, weren't that smart. So we were like, hey, we can't do this.
And then just a fun question here for anyone anticipating this going into this movie. If you were to describe the experience they're going to have in a certain amount of words without spoilers, how would you describe this very unique experience, very fun film?
Gosh.
Hold on to your buttholes.
Yes, yeah. It's it will blow your buttholes out, I think. We want people to have as much fun watching it as we did making it, because we're guys who got a shot to make a movie. Just like we're fans, just as long, we go to all these things as well. So we got a chance to make a movie. So we just hope that love of film and the fun that we had making it and the laughs we had, we would just hope that resonates with everybody who watches it.
I hope you laugh, and then I hope you tell the internet that you laughed.
Yeah. Tell Letterboxd.
Tell Letterboxd. Tell IMDb. Tell Google.
Tell Steven Spielberg.
Tell Steven Spielberg. Tell anybody.
Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. We are glad to have you. It's exciting to hear the premiere, and we're really looking forward to just giving this movie to everyone and letting them experience it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Our pleasure. Honestly.
Thank you.